Hello everyone, and it's been a while for me, but we are finally back with another day of NGS, and it isn't just any other day. Today is the final day of NGS. And just as a note for those of you not aware, which I'm sure most of you are not, while the title does say semifinals, this is going to be a double header today. The winner of this will be playing against a solid school later tonight as part of the grand finals of the heroic division. So gonna be a pretty big day, gonna have a lot of fun watching these games. And yeah, just kind of look forward to it all. But now for the first matchup, it is gonna be Inting for Globes versus potential Scrim Thursday. Now, I mean, looking over at the points, this is the number 1 and 4 seed going into the playoffs, but as a lot of people know, these are really solid teams. Inting for Globes has been number 1 for a while, and potential Scrim Thursday has a lot of incredibly powerful teams as well, or incredibly powerful players, I should say. I mean, as a team, they're really strong as well, super aggressive, kind of a very different style for both these rosters, but they are starting to get set up pretty quickly, so give me one moment. But so I am going to be rushing this a little bit, but here we have the playoff bracket, just kind of seeing how everything came into fruition here. Now, potential Scrim Thursday, they 3-0'd Boomer Gaming to get to the semifinals. Inting for Globes, they 3-0'd 925 to get here. So both of these two teams are yet to drop a single map in the heroic division. And the winner of this match will go on to play a solid school later tonight, who did manage to take down Rodney's Imaginary Friends 3-2 in the semifinal, cast by, I believe, the Sound cast that game. Now, the map picks have already come through, and map pick was for Inting for Globes. I forgot to add that. There we go. And they decided to ban away Battlefield of Eternity and Brax's Holdout. Potential Scrim Thursday, they banned away Tomb of the Spider Queen and Dragonshire. So the first map is going to be Cursed Hollow. Now, I think this is a really strong map specifically for Inting for Globes, and I kind of like what they decided to get rid of, what they decided to keep, because, I mean, and this will go a little bit into the analysis of these two teams. I mean, the Heroic Division is one I've been following really well. This is the one that I've been trying to follow as much as possible. Even the games I haven't been casting, I've tried to catch, or at the very least see the results, see who's done what. And these are two teams that are both the top of their specific style, if I can say that. Inting for Globes is very, very much a macro-centered team. Their macro is very clean. They play a very clean, controlled game of Heroes of the Storm. And on the complete opposite side of that coin is Potential Scrim Thursday. Mechanically, these are some of the best players around, but they do get a little bit sloppy with their macro. That's kind of where their weakness arises. And so it's going to be a very aggressive team on the right side, and it's going to be a very controlled team on the left side. But having said that, that isn't to say that Inting for Globes are bad mechanically. They are incredibly proficient as well. And Potential Scrim Thursday, they're also pretty decent at macro, especially with Jägermeister, who is playing today, leading the team. They can definitely play this the map super well as well. And I mean, I think this goes without saying, these are two of the best teams in Heroes of the Storm right now. Just in the entire game. So it's just going to be a ton of fun to watch. Now, they were doing the ready check. Both teams kind of said they're ready, and then looks like it's not happening yet. So we are going to be waiting for one more player to rejoin the lobby, and then we should be getting going pretty soon. But I mean, this is going to be the game to watch, I'll be honest. The grand finals should be close as well, but I think because of the seeding, if I was told to predict who I thought were going to be the top two teams of the season, who I thought were going to be playing in the finals, I would have said it would be Inting for Globes versus Potential Scrim Thursday. And then as for the third and fourth team, it would be the other semifinal matchup that we did have, I believe, on Tuesday this week or Tuesday last week. I'll be honest, my days are all jumbled up in my brain. Everything's just kind of gone all over the place for me recently. But Rodney's Imaginary Friends, I'll be honest, I actually expected them to win versus a Solid School. I thought it'd be a close matchup, but I thought they'd have the slight edge going in. But a Solid School, they're definitely been improving. They're definitely a solid team as well. They've been showing that they deserve to be a top 4 team. But they were also the ones that were able to take down Rodney's and kind of get into this final matchup that we will be having later tonight. And for anyone interested, it is going to be at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. I believe that is 7 Mountain Time, 8 Central. In UTC, what would that be? I mean, I don't think any of you are from England or from Europe. You never know. It's Heroes of the Storm. Got fans from around the world, especially in Europe. I think it's quite popular there. But we should be getting set up here. The 10th player has rejoined. We should be getting going. Yep, there we go. New ready checks. Got to get started. And first map is Cursed Hollow, and this is something I forgot to kind of talk about, even though that was the whole point of me showing the maps. But like I said, the mechanics, just the team fighting overall, Potential Scrim Thursday, this is kind of where they've been really taking control in all of their games. So the fact that it's Inting for Globes banned away Braxis and Battlefield of Eternity, those are two very popular fighting maps. That's where you get the real fights going, you know? And I think that will give them a slight advantage because they were able to remove those really teamfight oriented maps, and instead they're focusing more on the macro. And having map pick for first game does mean that they can kind of select those bigger maps like Cursed Hollow. I believe Garden is still in the pool as well, and it will give them a lot of opportunity to kind of play around that. But either way, the draft has begun, and Oriole going to be the very first ban from Potential Scrim Thursday, just trying to get rid of any one of those healers that's really solid in a core. And Oriole's also one of those healers that can kind of give you a bit more space when you do make a mechanical error. Whether it's that Crystal Aegis that basically prevents all the damage that's following up, or if it's the Resurrect that completely nullifies the fact that you went down. Well, I shouldn't say completely, because you still get the experience rewards for it, but you definitely do lose out on the map pressure since that hero is right back into the game. But now Hanzo banned by Inting for Globes, just a standard DPS ban, nothing too surprising there. And Blaze banned by Potential Scrim Thursday. Super powerful in the off lane, and again, just not really surprising to see it going. But Kira banned, now that is interesting. But like I said, Potential Scrim Thursday, they really like to fight, and that is one of the strongest team fighting heroes. And yet, just got confirmation because I was pretty sure, but I wasn't sure. But this double header today will be entirely cast by me. So I will be having the semifinal match, and then depending on how long the break is, I may leave the channel running, or I may go on a slight break and then relaunch it when it's time for the grand finals. But now the offlaners are going to get picked by both these two teams. Dahaka for DH Bob and Hogger for Concept. And now the main tank Fuzz is going to be on the Diablo. But with Hogger and Diablo picked up, Maltheo could be decently strong here. Same with Tychus. But the issue is, because this is more of a macro-centered map, there may not always be those large groupings. And there are still going to be ways to play Inting for Globes to kind of try and dodge those matchups. And one other strength that I haven't really mentioned too much on Potential Scrim Thursday is the fact that they're constantly able to swap roles. I had a talk with AoE Rules about this in their quarterfinal interview. And they said that the way they typically run their drafts is based off what heroes they want, and then just giving those heroes to who plays that specific hero the best. I mean, we've seen DH Bob play a lot of the Muradin, has definitely main tanked for Potential Scrim Thursday a few times, but this time around they're going to give the Muradin over to Jägermeister, who I believe is their main shot caller. And the Tyrande for AoE Rules absolutely loves that hero, not surprising to see that get locked in for them as well. As Imperius going to be banned by Inting for Globes. And I believe Imperius has had quite a few changes, but to be completely honest, I haven't really had a chance to see how those changes have affected them. Has affected Imperius in the meta. I don't know if it's super powerful as an offlane or as a pusher. I believe it is meant to be slightly worse as a tank, but slightly better at fighting. But again, this is entirely conjecture. I don't actually have any idea. But Falstad going to be the final ban coming out from Potential Scrim Thursday. And I think it makes sense just trying to get rid of that big cross map DPS. Now they will still have the Brightwing for Cav Kivar and the Sylvanas for Juan Pablo. And I really like those two picks for their playstyle. Brightwing gonna have that face of being able to get across the map whenever needed. And the Sylvanas is so good at pushing those black arrows. It opens up a lot of opportunity for the macro play. It opens up a lot of different strategies that they can start bringing in that without the Sylvanas would just be completely impossible. And now Deathwing will be locked in for Shoepuff and the Vala for Computex. So it is a triple frontline composition from Potential Scrim Thursday. And I was saying before how the Maltheo could be good for PST. I think it could be decent for Inting for Globes as well. I would be a bit surprised if they do end up picking it, but it's always going to be an option. And instead, it's going to be the Mephisto. So Mephisto is going to be really solid here as well. And into something like a Deathwing, assuming it, I believe it is more of a DPS, quote unquote. I think DH Bob is going to be their main offlaner, while Shoepuff is going to be the one grouping with the team first. But either way, the draft is done. Both teams are set up, and it's time to head into map number 1 of the semifinals between Inting for Globes and Potential Scrim Thursday. Alright, and here we are. Map number 1. Cursed Hollow between Inting for Globes and Potential Scrim Thursday. This is the semifinals. It is a best of 5. And should be pretty fun to watch here. Now, it looks like the original setup is going to be pretty standard. At the very least for Potential Scrim Thursday, they are bringing 4 towards the mid lane. And yet, as I say that, Jägermeister looks to be starting near the bot side. Probably just to collect this watchtower, and I'm assuming that's what Cav Kivar is going to be doing here in the top side as well for Inting for Globes. And now with the Sylvanas, they are going to try a little bit of a run towards the bot side. Pretty standard play for a Sylvanas. I think it's the most common cheese potentially in the entire game. Jägermeister is going to be here to defend a little bit. I don't think they've spotted out Brandon yet though. So they're not, Potential Scrim Thursday, they suspect this may happen, but they don't know for sure. And they did spread out 2-2-1 just to kind of prevent this early game cheese. But now the first wave is going to be crashing here in the mid lane. It's going to be Concept and Cav Kivar versus Shoepuff and AoE Rules. So offlaner versus, I'm not even sure what to consider Shoepuff. Flex, I guess, for this game. But now they are going to throw the black arrows. They've already gone on the push as well. And they're getting a lot of damage done to this wall. And now the rest of the team is going to be here, but Fuzz going to use the Shadow Charge. They're aiming towards AoE Rules, but AoE Rules is going to be okay. Now Phase Shift is going to be coming out, just trying to keep everyone alive. A lot of poke going back and forth. And interestingly enough, looking over at the talents, it's actually going to be the Lightning Nova build coming out from Juan Pablo. It's not going to be the Skull Missile build, like I expected anyway. And the reason for that, why I thought it would be good, is it does give them a lot of late game scaling. And I think it's also going to give them a lot of teamfight damage. And into something like a Deathwing, it is pretty easy to stack up as well. Deathwing, not exactly the hero known for being able to dodge skill shots, but they decided that having that early game priority, having that little bit of extra burst, and potentially even pushing power coming out in the early to mid game is going to be more important. Inting for Globes going to be going with the Fury Spark. Now on the opposite side of that, Computex and AoE Rules, both sides are just kind of clearing away the Bruiser Camps, has gone with a Puncturing Arrow. So it's not Krita the Hunter, which I think typically is better into a frontline composition, but and with Mephisto as well, it's pretty... Mephisto likes to play in very close range, is definitely going to be a target that's able to get hit with autos often. But I'm assuming that the whole reason for it is at the same time, you're able to really land those Hungering Arrows as well and just kind of get that push power going in. As now it is going to be a pretty standard build coming out from Jägermeister. Oh yeah, I forgot it's Jägermeister playing. Whenever I see DH Bob, it's almost always the Stormbolt build. DH Bob loves the dings when playing really any hero in this game. But again, at the same time, still not going to be getting too much of that. It's actually going to be the Enduring Swarm level 1. But as I say that, Inting for Globes, they're going to continue pressuring through this mid lane. They've already gotten one cannon tower and already have a half a level of experience advantage. And they've been doing a good job of just kind of getting that pressure forward without really committing onto a team fight. And now DH Bob getting pressured a little bit by the squad of Inting for Globes, as it is 3-1-1 right now for Inting for Globes, but they do have the phase shift available. It is going to be that hyper shift level 1 talent. And now with the tribute up here, they can just kind of buy a little bit of time, kind of delay. They will be winning out on the soak. They're both level 6 right now, but level 7 definitely going to come in sooner for Inting for Globes, and maybe they can try to fight off of that. Now Jägermeister already down to half HP. Juan Pablo going to be going over to the Lightning Nova. Capkavar's here as well. May have gone a little bit too far up, actually. Jägermeister looking for the play. There's no blink heal yet. And now they are looking. They will land the dragon. Capkavar will bring the Soothing Mist, but will be going down. And now Juan Pablo is the next target. Needs to go back to the Shades, but will be taken down as well. Shoepuff going to be able to get that kill, but level 7 talents are now available, and they're able to answer back onto Jägermeister. Everyone else there is low, but so is Fuzz. AoE Rules needs a 1 or 2 more autos, as Concept is going to be there just trying to zone them away. Computex looking for the tribute, but not going to be able to find it quite yet. Brandon is still in the area, and both sides just kind of having a very bloody fight, as Shoepuff going to be able to finally zone them away with the Cataclysm. So it's going to be the 2-for-1 and the tribute going in favor of potential Scrim Thursday. And on top of all that, they had a decent push happening on the bot side as well. That Siege Camp managed to get one cannon tower and a good chunk of that gate as well. But now with that, both sides are going to reset. So basically same levels right now. The XP is tied. Level 8 and just a very slight bit is now DH Bob. Kind of in between two, but it's just Capkavar and Concept. I don't think this Dahaka is particularly worried about getting taken down there. And the next tribute going to be spawning in 20 seconds. This time it's going to be on the bottom side of the map, kind of favoring the side of Inting for Globes. Is now DH Bob. Could be the next target. Polymorph as well. Staggering blow. Brandon is in the area. The drag this time not going to be able to land. And now they're looking for a DH Bob. The dynamite is on the floor, and they're just zoning them away. A lot of damage has already been dealt. Juan Pablo is here on the pincer, but again, the damage just is not there yet for Inting for Globes. They can definitely threaten them off of it. They can definitely force potential Scrim Thursday to be to walk away from the objective, but it will be hard to find the kill. But Computex going to be the target, taking a lot of damage, and the healing coming out from AoE Rules, but one more Skull Missile not going to land, one more auto, but the Shades of Mephisto does not last long enough. They almost got the kill, but almost doesn't count. But they were able to secure the tribute, so it is 1-for-1 in terms of objectives. As now Brandon could be the next target, gonna try to jump away. The drag not going to be coming out from DH Bob. However, during that entire time, Shupa getting a massive push on the top side, and we can even see all this missed soak there, and will also take to the skies, getting ready to rejoin the team for this next tribute. Also on the bot side, favoring PST, as now Fuzz starting to get taken down quite low. Phase Shift will come out as well, and the heroics are available. Starfall has been used, just going to deal a little bit of damage over to the structures, but no kills are going to come from it. And now the level 10 is going to get matched by Inting for Globes. And it looks like they're not going to contest this next tribute. They only just got their heroics, so they didn't have them ready in time to kind of start posturing. But instead, they're going to take their camps. They're going to get back in position. And because of the overall placement of that tribute, I don't think they really needed to go for it. But now the Apocalypse going to get used. Computex mind control as well. And will get taken down. And that's going to be a big kill for Inting for Globes. And they do have the Bruiser camp pushing through this mid lane as well. And I believe the black arrows are available. And yes, they are. They're going to turn off this fort and start using that Shadow Dagger, just getting as much damage as possible to this mid lane structure. Fuzz just in the area trying to keep Brandon alive. But Shupa really getting a lot of threat onto Brandon. Will be forced to use that Haunting Wave to get back to safety. But that's still going to be some damage over to this mid lane fort. It's going to be a lot of pressure as well. Just getting that able on the map. The Molten Flame just going to get used to zone them away, as Juan Pablo will use that lightning over for that structural damage. Now Brandon, again, going to be in a pretty dangerous spot. Haunting Wave has already been used. Shupa already on the final armor part. And only 10 armor on this one, by the way. It does go 40, 30, 20, 10. But they did finish the curse on Potential Scrim Thursday. And interestingly enough, it's Inting for Globes that are trying to fight this out. Now Starfall has already been used, but they've been zoned away from the circle. But in the meanwhile, Computex just getting a free push on the top side. Massive wave in the bot side as well. And Inting for Globes, they need to get back. They need to try and save as many of these structures as possible. It's going to get very difficult for them to try and defend, to try and play on this map once they do lose all of this. As now Brandon again just getting pushed in by Shupa. The damage just is not there yet for the Sylvanas. But again, as a later game scaling hero, the Sylvanas will definitely still be strong. Fuzz trying to hold on to the Watchtower, but getting pressured pretty hard. Capcavar trying to keep Fuzz alive, but the damage is there. Rain of Vengeance with the Haymaker, and Fuzz will get taken down. Potential Scrim Thursday just getting that kill for themselves. 3-2 in kills, level 13 advantage. They have the top fort, they have the bot fort, and with the Cataclysm used in the mid lane, they're looking to secure this mid fort as well. However, Fuzz is back, had the souls, and the curse is going to be lifted now. But they've gotten a massive advantage on the side of PST. Half a level and 2 forts down. Top and bottom now going to be passively pushing into Inting for Globes. And they're also going to be getting that passive experience on the side of PST. And now with the curse lifted, they're immediately going to get started on the boss. They will be getting matched by Inting for Globes. They're slightly behind on the pacing, but just a matter of a few seconds, they will definitely be able to secure it over here in the bot side. And now DH Bob is in the area, but I don't expect we'll even try to cancel this or try to slow them down. Will definitely be a little bit of a dangerous play, as both bosses are going to get secured here. Now, Inting for Globes, they do have both a positive and a negative. They've already lost their top fort, but because of that, they can start hitting the boss much earlier before it gets into any kind of dangerous zone. As we see the boss for Inting for Globes already going to be finishing off the wall and going to get started on this fort. And kind of what I mean by that is Brandon and Juan Pablo, they're clearing out this boss already, dealing a lot of damage to it, just trying to get it off the map before it reaches their walls. Now it's going to reach now, but it's already at half HP, so it won't be able to get quite as much value as one of the bot side. It's DH Bob and Shupup just trying to clear that one out instead. Now they will lose most of their wall. It's just going to be about half of a cannon tower left for the side of Inting for Globes, as the fort will actually be saved. 440 HP left on it. So if Inting for Globes, they can get any kind of pressure towards the bot side, they should be able to clear it out pretty quickly and pretty safely. But they need to get there, as Jägermeister is in a pretty strong position, and they're looking towards Brandon and will eventually be able to take them down, as now Computex is going to be the next target, and they have the Durance. No, the Durance has not been used, actually. And in fact, it's not even Durance, it's Consumed Souls Lock for Juan Pablo. But because of that, it's a 2-for-0 for Potential Scrim Thursday, as they do run in to steal away this Bruiser camp. It's a 2-for-0. They had level 16 advantage, And they got the camp steal as well. Potential Scrim Thursday, they're really starting to run away with this game. Taking a lot of those victories, a lot of those wins along the map. And most importantly, whenever they get those teamfight victories, they're always able to get something with it. They got the Bruiser camp, which in turn will lead to this mid lane fort. And they have the pressure onto the next tribute. Cataclysm even preventing Juan Pablo from trying to clear this wave early on. Now Juan Pablo is still trying to get some poke damage over top of everything, but again, just kind of struggling to get in there. Now Brandon just fighting with DH Bob. The drag not going to be able to land. Instead, they're looking towards Compute X. And they will get the mind controlled perfectly. The polymorph is there as well, but the healing is so strong. Consume souls, not going to be enough damage. DH Bob super low as well. As now Shoopuf is going to be landing. Juan Pablo just trying to get damage over onto the backline. Shoopuf already broken through the first armor plating. Second one should follow soon. But can they get anything here? Because Juan Pablo will still need some time. They're on their final armor plating. Shoopuf starting to get so low. But do they have the damage? Do they have the rage shockwave over top? Not going to land onto Shoopuf. They will be able to take at least this bottom fort. But the fact that they did manage to get a single kill off the back of that is a huge win for Potential Scrim Thursday. What they do have right now is a massive HP advantage. They are still down a talent. But they should be getting their level 16 soon, as now they're aiming towards Jägermeister, getting so much damage. It is the Haymaker. There is no avatar to speak of. And look at the damage going down over top. Jägermeister will go down. Level 16 talents are now up for Inting for Globes, as now they can continue pressing forward. They have the black arrows. They have turned off this mid lane fort. And AoE rules will survive at 200 HP. They're not going to be able to take down the healer. And again, the Cataclysm is going to get used now by Shoopuf. But the mid lane fort is already gone. The tribute is available, and Inting for Globes are in a very solid position to take it. However, in the meanwhile, DH Bob getting a pretty solid push up here in the top side. And just the wave on its own should be able to finish off the wall here. They are sending 2 members from Inting for Globes to try and deal with this, but it will be a little bit too little too late. But in the end, I think Inting for Globes are definitely happy with the recent movements on the map. They've gotten massive trades back for them. It is now 3-5. It still ended up only just being the 1 kill, but they got the tribute. They got 2 forts down. It will definitely ease up on the pressure, and it'll make fighting for this next objective so much easier. As now DH Bob going to be the target, going to throw them back. Shadow charge as well, but not going to be able to land them, as now the drag is there, and they have so much damage going on to Fuzz, but Fuzz still going to be alive. Now Juan Pablo going to be the next target. Concept is now here. The shockwave only going to land onto one, and now they're looking for Compute X, and Compute X will survive. Juan Pablo, God, cancel. The Consume Souls will not go off. It's 2-0 so far in favor of Potential Scrim Thursday, and now Storm Brandon trying to back away with the Haunting Wave. Will be able to. The first armor plate for Shoopuf is going to go down. Same with the second, but there's still no fight to be had for Inting for Globes. It's going to be the 2-0. Fuzz will lose their souls as well. And this next tribute will go the way of Potential Scrim Thursday. So now they are tied 2-2 in terms of tributes. But the most important part is that they've already had their first curse. Inting for Globes, they're still trying to get that advantage. They're still trying to get the ability to throw that curse in. And it's a very scary time right now for Inting for Globes. Level 20 is on the horizon for Potential Scrim Thursday, and the bosses are up. This is a fight that Inting for Globes, they can't really take. They're down the Storm tier talents, and it looks like they're just going to give it up. They don't want to try mechanically outplaying this. Even with the boss potentially helping them out, it is just simply not worth it. They're going to have to give this up. They're going to have to defend into it, and potentially defend into a double boss play, or even more frightening, a potential fight coming out from Potential Scrim Thursday. If they do decide to push in with this, they can get a massive advantage from it as well. They can definitely force a fight. The curse will be spawning in 20 seconds as well. This is going to be the best moment for Potential Scrim Thursday to try and end the game. They're going to get the boss. They're going to get the Bruiser camp. And DH Bob going to get the curse, and they're just going to push in with it in the bot lane, as now they're trying to start the fight anyway. They land the Stormbolt. Now the Unstoppable is there. Same with the APOC over top. And Compute X will be the first to go down in the fight. And that might have been enough. Now Fuzz is on the backline. They're looking towards AoE rules. They will take down this healer. As now Shoopuf trying to dive onto the backline, trying to fight into Brandon. They do get the curse, But the fact that Inting for Globes got that 2-0, it means potential Scrim Thursday can no longer threaten to end the game. They can still try to get advantages for themselves, but it's not going to be quite as much as they would have liked, and definitely not as much as they could have had with this push. So huge team fight for Inting for Globes, down 20s, but just being able to get that early pickoff onto the Vala has really helped them out a lot. And now they're chasing on a DH Bob as well. And I'm surprised how far they're going in with this. Mind Control is going to land, staggering blow into the wall, polymorph, and they're going to be able to take down DH Bob in the offlane as well. They're not even going to lose a keep for this. Being down the boss, being down 20s, being down the curse. They're just able to out team fight it. And that's exactly what I was saying. Yes, potential Scrim Thursday, they're a team that's known for their team fight, for their aggressive playstyle. But Inting for Globes, because of how controlled they are, because of how well they know when and where they can fight, they're able to win out on those mechanical plays as well. And now they're going to do a bit of an aggressive play. They're going to try to steal away the boss camp in the top side. It is 4v5 in their favor. Level 20s are not available, but now Jägermeister is in position, hiding in the brush. Will be able to land the Stormbolt. Haymaker is ready as well. Shockwave and Mind Control all going to miss. Fuzz almost goes down. And now it's going to be a bit of a difficult spot because Fuzz is pretty low on HP and will get hit by another Sentinel as well. But could they try to fight? It's 5 seconds till DH Bob is up. And in those 5 seconds, they're going to be able to get a lot. And now they're going to try fighting onto the point. But the boss, it will go the way of potential Scrim Thursday. And it's already a 2-0. And now they're aiming for Brandon as the ensemble will come through. Kapkavar will have the blink heal as well. There's one Pablo just trying to deal damage in the backline, looking for AoE rules, but the healing is too much. Now in the front line, Shubov and DH Bob, they're still chasing. It is a 3-0. And can potential Scrim Thursday just end off of this? They have a boss pushing on the top side. They have a massive wave as well. But they're going to take the siege camp on top of it all. It's still going to be about 35 seconds before the next two members of Inting for Globes are going to be able to be back in the game. And now it begins. They will get started on this top lane keep. It will go down in no time as Brandon going to be the next target. Will be able to just jump over the wall. Kapkavar just trying to keep Brandon alive, trying to let the Sylvanas deal damage. But the Sylvanas on its own just cannot do enough. Shubov just zoning Brandon away entirely. DH Bob in the area as well. They're just trying to make sure the Sylvanas is not part of the issue. Computex going to be falling in with those kills. Brandon going to go down. But so is the core as potential Scrim Thursday. They win game number 1. And just an absolute nail biter. This is exactly what I wanted from this series, and it is exactly what they are delivering here. Very close game at Inting for Globes. They were almost able to bring it back. However, I think that them trying to fight for the top boss, I liked when they started it. I liked when they pulled it. But potential Scrim Thursday, they were able to fight them off of it. And I think at that point, Inting for Globes should have just tried defending against it. I think, especially with DH Bob having the Brushstalker, being able to join the fight so soon, there was no way they were ever going to be able to get it back. Now the other part is maybe Fuzz, after sending them into the wall, maybe didn't need to overpower. But again, at this point, I do believe that Jägermeister would have been able to get onto the point anyway. But memes, it is fully live. This is completely live. This is the current semifinals with the finals to come right after it. We're going to have the end of the Heroic Division tonight. But for now, we're going to go to a short break. But when we come back, we'll be on map number 2. So don't go anywhere. All right, and we are back. Map number 2, Infernal Shrines between Inting for Globes and potential Scrim Thursday. And this is going to be another fun one. Now, the objective is more targeting towards the actual heroes themselves rather than the rather than the actual structures, which does enable more diving plays to happen. It does also mean when you get the objective, you have to push in with it. You can't just send it out, let it fend for itself. It won't be able to accomplish quite as much. With that being said, potential Scrim Thursday, they lost, so Inting for Globes, they did select map pick again. So this is going to be the map pick for Inting for Globes. And now the draft is going to be continuing through, and this time Hogger going to get banned by Inting for Globes. This is the strongest map for it. Being able to just kind of hog wild spin to win on those shrines. It's super annoying to deal with. Even if it isn't always the most effective, it is always incredibly frustrating to play into it. The opportunity of having that infinite bounce around, just dealing so much DPS, is always going to be there. But now Blaze still going to be the same bans coming out from PST. They will ban away the Oreo, they will ban away the Blaze, and the Hanzo still going to stay for Inting for Globes. This does mean Dahaka is available, and that is going to get immediately locked in for DH Bob. Not too surprising there. But from the side of Inting for Globes, I'm wondering if they're going to try to change their draft up a bit. I think one thing they did struggle in is they were lacking a little bit of damage, a little bit of that finish potential. Having the Diablo from Fuzz definitely set them up for a lot of plays. And specifically, I think what really made it harder for them is the Mephisto never really was able to deal as much damage as you would have wanted from it. And I don't think it had anything to do with the way Storm Brandon played it. I think it more had to do with just how much the fights were just kind of moving around. Potential Scrim Thursday, they were ready for the Mephisto. They knew how to play into it. They didn't have any hard counters against it, but they did have a lot of play style elements that were strong into it. But now instead it's going to be the Joanna locked in for Fuzz and the Leoric locked in for Concept. Meanwhile, potential Scrim Thursday, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Gonna lock in the exact same picks. Murden for Jägermeister and the Vala for Computex. Now this is a different map, so team fighting and AoE control are going to be a little bit more important than they have been on Cursed Hollow. And we're even seeing that coming through right now with the Joanna and Leoric for Inting for Globes. And I think that's kind of the idea behind those two heroes. Just having that little bit of extra potential in those fights. Joanna can hold a point super well. Leoric with that Entomb can just absolutely dominate small areas. And that's exactly what those shrines are going to be. But now Uther banned away by Inting for Globes, trying to remove that extra bit of control and D-shield as well. Especially with the Vala, just enables her so much. Just so much free damage. Doesn't need to worry about anything. Especially with the cleanse coming out from Uther as well. And the Falstad gonna get locked in, gonna get banned away, sorry, by potential Scrim Thursday. And now Inting for Globes, they're playing a completely different composition. Tyka's gonna get locked in for Juan Pablo and the White Mane for Cav Kivar. Now Tychus is really good on this map. One thing with those Punishers is the Punisher is always going to be running in deep, trying to hit behind the wall. Typically it'll be the Dahak or the Murden that's just going to catch that jump and pull him behind the forts, behind the keeps, whatever it is it's sieging. But Tychus with the Commandeer Odin's going to be able to just hit on those structures anyway. And especially during the actual fights themselves, that overkill is really good at clearing away vast amounts of those skeletons along the shrines. But now Thrall and Anduin going to get locked in for PST, so their team fight is going to be pretty strong as well. It's actually going to be DH Bob on the Thrall and Shoopuf on the Dahaka. And AoE rules on the Vala and Computex on Anduin. So there you go. PST just constantly swapping those roles. And final pick was the Gul'dan for Storm Brandon. Very, very strong pick on this map. And again, it's already time and we're heading right into map number 2. All right, and here we are on Infernal Shrines, map number 2 between Inting for Globes and potential Scrim Thursday. Potential Scrim Thursday currently up 1-0. They did get that first map win in their favor. And now it's time to see if they can do it again. And now, kind of as expected, oh, sorry, that isn't DH Bob on it, but it is going to be the Stormbolt build coming out from Jägermeister. Now, I'm wondering what the idea of that is going to be here. Because this is something that is quite strong in terms of push power, but there aren't any big bosses for them to really take. Will help a little bit on defense. Could potentially be good for the assassination as well, but the drag immediately going to land, but it is on to concept. It is a little bit tanky on the Elioric. As Jägermeister are going to be forced to dwarf toss away. AoE rules taking a decent amount of push over in the backside as well. But now mid control is going to be won over by Inting for Globes, but because of that potential Scrim Thursday, they're now immediately answering, just trying to gain control over this bot lane. DH Bob is going to be the first to arrive, but as they do posture, just try to fight for these locations. I will talk about some of the talents. It is going to be Puncturing Arrows selected once again by potential Scrim Thursday. AoE rules playing the Vala this time. And interestingly enough, I don't know too many builds coming out from Thrall, but I don't believe that Crash Lightning is the typical first build. It is going to be the Chain Lightning build there. As now Computex just dealing as much damage to Fuzz as possible. Is taking a decent amount of poke, actually. But the Anduin, able to heal off of every auto, just knows that this is kind of free DPS for him. And with the Divine Star especially, we'll just flat out win out in that trade. A lot of mana used by Computex, but in general, Anduin doesn't need that much mana. Is able to kind of regain it pretty quickly, especially just through those HP globes and all that. So if they're able to control onto 2, they will definitely be able to get those in their favor. But now Fuzz, it will land the Condemn onto 3, but Shoot Buff coming in from the side. They have the Chastise onto Fuzz, and Fuzz is going to go down in its first blood. 2 potential Scrim Thursday once again. And with that, they're going to be able to win this siege camp on the bot side. They did have to bring multiple members. They did have to bring all 5. So Concept will get some time in the top side, just getting a little bit of a push going. But definitely worth it for PST. They're gonna have the camp. They're gonna have the kill. They are down the experience for now. But I mean, look at the sides of this wave. Shoot Puff is still going to be here in time. But Concept actually doing a lot of damage to this poor Dahaka. But again, with a health orb, with Dahaka being Dahaka, not gonna care too much about it. In fact, almost lands the drag back onto Concept. But yeah, just a little bit of a lead starting out for potential Scrim Thursday. They're not going to get too much value out of the poke from the Impalers, but they are positioned aggressively again, just trying to slow down this Bruiser camp from going over. But now Fuzz is here, Cav, Kavar, and Juan Pablo. They will group up together to start hitting onto this Bruiser camp, but at the same time, potential Scrim Thursday, they've already finished theirs. But this is one of those moments where being second to finish isn't actually necessarily bad. Because now it's going to push further into them. Concept going to be able to kind of clear away this Bruiser camp before theirs even spawns. But because of that, it does mean potential Scrim Thursday, they will have more pressure onto these skeletons. They are going to be here first. As now Jägermeister does get pulled back with a Condemn, but they're doing a great job just zoning away this Inting for Globe squad. They haven't gotten too many skeletons yet, but they definitely have the advantage already. Now the Corruption just being jumped over top. Same with the Fell Flame. Already 21 stacks on that Pursuit of Flame, by the way. So should be able to have that extra bit of AoE, extra bit of range coming out soon. But again, potential Scrim Thursday, they're still completely pushing them off. Stormbranding gonna get hit by the Stormbolt. As again, Jupov just trying to stand in the middle of everyone, just trying to be an absolute pain. The drag is gonna land, but it is on to Fuzz. Iron Skin doesn't look to be available, and Fuzz going to go down. That's gonna be another kill going for potential Scrim Thursday. And with that, they will definitely be able to secure this Punisher for themselves here in this bottom lane. But in answer for that, Inting for Globes, they were able to finish off the entire wall on the top side. There was a decent amount of missed soak for PST as well, but it is the Frozen Punisher, one of the strongest ones. So the amount of damage that it will be able to deal to these structures should be quite good. As now the Cleanse going to be coming in for Brandon just to remove that extra stun, make sure they cannot follow up on it as well. Now the wall has already gone down, but so has this Punisher. This Punisher starting to get super low as well. Iron Skin already going to get used by Fuzz here as well, just trying to zone everyone away. So in terms of structural damage, it's actually quite even, but that extra kill for PST is definitely going to help them a lot. As now Jägermeister looking to play forward, they're turning their attention to Kafkavar. Kafkavar starting to get quite low, trying to use those stacks of plea, and will be able to survive, and actually didn't even use that much mana. Still has more than half of it available. But that is still going to be the pressure coming in from PST. They are looking to steal away the siege camp. And again, Concept just still trying to shove in that top side and is able to win a little bit in that split push. But the timing and what potential Scrim Thursday, they're always getting something in answer for it. Now the wave is going to be shoving in, so Concept will be able to turn towards the bot side now. But potential Scrim Thursday, they've already started on this bot lane siege camp. They have so much damage coming out from AoE rules as well that they should just be able to secure this for themselves. However, Inting for Globes, they are positioned forward. Fuzz already in line of sight. So this bot siege camp not going to be going over yet. But again, Shoopuf already has a push, and I believe the Brush Stalker is available. So they can turn this into a 4v5 very soon if they do decide to. As now Jägermeister going to be taking a decent amount of damage. The Iron Skin is going to go through. That's a major cooldown that they're not going to have available. And now the fight is breaking open, but level 10s are there. The Light Bomb lands on it too. They will be able to get the point as well. And now the Root, the Feral Spirit's able to land on it too. Concept is gone. It's a 1-0 in favor of potential Scrim Thursday, as Computex may have stepped out a little bit too far, but will be okay. And again, just another massive win for PST. They have the level 10s, they have the push, and they have the numbers advantage. And on top of it, Shoopuf shoving in the top lane. Mid lane already pushed in. Now the Condemn is going to be there. Fuzz is just trying to buy time, trying to push them away as much as possible. Heroics are now up for Inting for Globes, but they did not have them at the start of that fight. The Condemned going to land on a few. They're starting to get low. Horrify as well. And Falling Sword going to land on the Computex. That will be the Anduin going down shortly. Brandon almost goes down as well. Now DH Bob going to be the next target. Will get finished off. The Entomb auto AoE rules. And Inting for Globes to get 3 quick kills with their level 10 spike. And now they're the ones that are going to start pushing in through the bot side. Jägermeister going to get pulled back, starting to get taken down pretty low, and will get finished off. Make that 4-0. Inting for Globes, they're right back into this game off that one singular play. And Odin has been popped as well. And it looks like they just straight up won this bot lane fort. They should be able to secure it. The minion wave is going to be here as well. So Inting for Globes, what started with them being pretty decently behind at the start of the play, they're now up ahead. Though as I'm saying that, Fuzz in a bad spot, they're not able to finish it off. And they have the Falling Sword into the backline, Sundering there as well. Kafkavar going to be the main target. As now Computex might have actually gone a little bit too far. It is kind of getting traded back, but the healing is just so fast. And so far is the first to go down, but Brandon and Kafkavar are solo. Same with Fuzz. But now Concept is joining, looking for AoE rules, but there's just no one here to help. And it's just a bit bad. But then Scrim Thursday, they're going to get that 3-for-1. And maybe even more as Shuba now trying to run down Juan Pablo with the overkill, just kind of trying to back away. But it is a 3-for-1, and this game is all over the place. Both teams, they're just trying to push each advantage as far as they can. But sometimes they're pushing it a bit further than they're able to. But the Shrine on the top side is active. Most Heroics are going to be back up soon. It's 15 on Entomb, 20 on Odin, and about another 17 seconds left on the Sundering. But the bot lane keep did end up going down. I'm not sure how that got finished off. I'm guessing someone who knew they were going to be going down anyway just decided to get the last hit onto it. But it looks like Inting for Globes, they're just going to be giving away this Punisher instead. Now, Fuzz is going to try shoving out this mid lane a little bit. They're going to get the Bruiser camp on the top side. Maybe by a little bit of space. Now DH Bob going to get targeted. So they will look for that kill as well. Fell Flame dealing a lot of damage. And that will be another kill going the way of Inting for Globes. And now Shoopuf going to come in with a Brush Stalker as well. But it is Dahaka. Dahaka is immortal as a hero. Has never gone down in the past. Will immediately heal back up to full. Do they have any more crowd control available? And it doesn't seem like they do. But what they can do now for Inting for Globes is they can start just pushing out this mid lane instead. And now the Horrify is going to be there, but cleansed immediately. Leap of Faith from Computex going to be there at the perfect time. Now, I think that might not even have been intentionally. If it was, those are some lightning fast reflexes. But now Jägermeister going to be the next target. Avatar going to get popped already. Corruption dealing a little bit of damage over top. Iron Skin going to get used as well. But now Shoopuf happily standing in the middle of everyone. The Dragon is going to land Condemn as well. Crimson Aegis only going to help one. Brandon actually getting finished off. One more auto needed. from this Punisher, but it's not going to come through. Instead, Fuzz will be the main target going down. It's now Juan Pablo. I'm a little bit behind enemy lines. Our concept is in the area, but I think they're just going to give this away. It's going to be a 2-0 for Potential Scrim Thursday, as they should be able to take this top lane keep as well with the Mortar Punisher involved. And again, it's just so hard to tell who's winning what, who's doing what, where. But overall, I would say Potential Scrim advantage, or Potential Scrim Thursday do have the advantage. They have half a level lead. They're playing a little bit faster. And Inting for Globes, they have been able to get some stuff to even out the game, but they've never been in that commanding area. They've never had that overall lead. Potential Scrim Thursday, yes, they do lose their lead sometimes, but they're always at the very least even on the map. And now with that, we have traded 1-for-1 on forts overall on the map. However, Concept looking to pressure out the one on the top side, while Potential Scrim Thursday, they're looking for the one in this bottom lane. But now the Horrify actually hasn't been burned yet. Now it's going to get used. And they're looking for Shoopov. Shoopov is on the back line, looking for Kafkavar. Fuzz just trying to zone away. They have the Crimson Aegis. They have the Falling Sword as well. Now Concept coming in from behind. Will have the Entomb as well. Light Bomb is going to get proc, but no one's going to go through it. Just splitting up the fight for now. Shoopov in a dangerous spot. Just needs a little bit more damage, and that's what they have. It's going to be 1-0 so far. Iron Skin just able to turn away from the Chastise, but again, it's just the 1-0, but they do lose their bot lane key forward. Concept may still be looking to go further. DH Bomb starting to get pretty low, but Computex has the healing. Stormbolt lands as well, and now AoE Rules looking for Juan Pablo, and will be able to burst it down. 34 stacks on Puncturing Arrow at 11 minutes. That damage is unreal, but now Jägermeister going to get condemned backwards. Pops the Avatar, starting to get a little bit low on mana, but does have enough for that final Dwarf Toss. And now instead, AoE Rules just still stacking up perfectly. 36 Puncturing Arrow stacks. This is a very dangerous Vala. And again, it's the same thing as before. Inting for Globes, they have brought back the game, but they didn't take the lead. And now Shoopov is going to be back in the Condemn. Not going to be able to land onto anyone, but has already been caught out. Will get blinded, will get slowed. And the Entomb just buying so much space, but the healing is more than enough. Condemn will find a couple, as the Falling Sword going to get used defensively from Fuzz, just trying to get away from a bad spot. And with that play, Potential Scrim Thursday should be able to retake the lead. They will be able to come down to this bot side, steal away the siege camp. And they are up about a quarter of a level. Definitely not the biggest lead they've had this game, but they will have something in their favor. There's now another Condemn going to land on Jägermeister. Corruption dealing a lot of damage over top. And this entire game has been non-stop action. Both of these two teams playing at such a fast pace. But one thing I am a little bit worried about right now for Potential Scrim Thursday is that level 20 that's going to come out from Inting for Globes. Concept has been in very, very good positions with those Entombs. Once that Entomb also silences, I think these teamfights are going to drastically change for Potential Scrim Thursday. Now both sides going to be able to take their bruiser camps. And again, looking over at the structures, it's still quite close. It is 2 forts to 1 in favor of Potential Scrim Thursday, but the top lane fort is quite low. As now Jägermeister going to be the main target. The Condemned not going to be there in time. And now the Entomb goes slightly off to the side. Bob almost caught out, but Odin gonna get popped now, and it looks like they want this Punisher. They want this third Punisher of the game. As now over to the backline, Shoopov is there. They have the assault with the backline. Crimson Aegis as well, as Brandon just trying to DPS over top, but the entire team is going down. Kafkavar starting to get so low, and Rain of Vengeance still surviving, but it's just not enough. They're not able to buy enough time. And now the next target is going to be Juan Pablo. So many stuns, so many roots. The overkill is there to buy a little bit of space, and Juan Pablo will be able to survive. But without the healer, they cannot re-enter. This is going to be a one team fight in favor of Potential Scrim Thursday. And now they're just going to let Shoopov hang around, just finish off this. The skeleton get that Arcane Punisher spawned in. While Inting for Globes, they just need to run to the hills. They need to reset. They need to heal back up. Fuzz can buy a little bit of space in the mid lane, but this fort is sure to follow as Fuzz actually gets taken down quite low. And will barely survive, but has to burn the Falling Sword in order to do so. And again, that's just the pressure coming out from Potential Scrim Thursday. Now, Kafkavar will be back up in about 5 seconds. But that's just going to be the time where the Arcane Punisher will get finished by the side of PST. And now they're close to their level 20. So again, this is an opportunity for them to get major advantages. They should be able to get it while they're shoving in with this Arcane Punisher. One more wave, maybe a little bit of time waiting just from that passive experience. As Concept at least trying to answer on the top. So trying to get that forward back in their favor. As now the Iron Skin already going to get popped. And they are looking to just DPS this Arcane Punisher as fast as possible. Level 20s are available for potential Scrim Thursday. If they want to fight, now is the time. The Fel Flames just trying to DPS onto the Punisher as much as possible. Will hit to the backline. Now Jägermeister has the stun. The Light Bomb not going to land on him enough. And now the Horrify actually pulling Compute X behind enemy lines. But Jägermeister going to tank up. And Compute X will have the healing needed. And just barely manages to survive. Now Concept is in the backline looking for Compute X. But again, the stuns, the drags, and Concept just going to get burst down. It's a 1-for-0, and the Punisher is gone as well. But Fuzz starting at super low. Capkavar, the Crimson Aegis not in range. And now Shubov still standing on the front line. Everyone just DPSing onto Inting for globes. And DH Bob starting to get quite low. Shubov is still healing the Sundering, going to go wide, but it will split off Inting for globes from this objective. And now they're looking to end this game. The root is there from the core. The damage is coming out of Inting for globes, but Brandon starting to get low on mana, starting to get low on health, is getting his own away. Juan Pablo just trying to get as much pressure as possible, but it might not be enough. They're just trying to get away onto the backline. AoE rules won't even go, will go down. But again, so will the core. Potential Scream Thursday. They're on match point, and they are up 2-0. And this is the series now. It is 2-0 for PST. They just need one more map win, and they are going to the grand finals today. Just absolutely well played. Just an absolute dominance from them so far. Ending for globes, they've definitely been able to bring the games back a couple times, but they've never managed to get themselves the lead. But the games are definitely getting closer, and maybe map number 3, that's where Inting for globes can really finally get their first map win and make this a true best of 5 series. But for now, the series is not over. We still have at least one more game. Can Potential Scrim Thursday get the clean sweep, or can Inting for globes show us why they also deserve to be here in the semifinals? Now we're gonna go to a short break, but when we come back, it'll be game number 3. So don't go anywhere.
Towers of Doom.
All right, welcome back, everyone. And here we are with game number 3 between Inting for Globes and Potential Scrim Thursday. We are going to Towers of Doom. Now, this is an interesting one because this is more of a fighting map, but macro does come into play pretty heavily here as well. And other big difference is this time, oh, maybe not, not yet anyway. But other big difference is it does seem like the first pick is going to be on the side of Inting for Globes rather than Potential Scrim Thursday. Now, the reason for that we'll see. Maybe it wasn't meant to be that way, and that's why we're resetting here. But I'll come back and let y'all know in a sec. But yeah, we should be restarting the lobby soon. I'm not sure what happened there. Oh, I think maybe the wrong person was captain. I don't even know anymore. The important thing is it doesn't really matter. What does matter is we are going to be heading right back out of the draft. I mean, we canceled it basically right at the start, but once again, take 2. Let's go to Towers of Doom draft here between Inting for Globes and Potential Scrim Thursday. So now it does look like it's still going to be first pick for the side of Inting for Globes, and it is a bit of a shame because they did have the strategy to have those map picks. They did that for map number 1 and number 2, but it didn't seem to work out for them. The fact that they weren't able to get that first pick for themselves, they weren't able to secure those strong heroes, maybe that could have been part of the reason why they weren't able to win out. For caster, we needed a host shuffle for correct server? I'm assuming that's for, oh, I see. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, we're good. Yes, that's probably a ping thing for anyone in chat not aware. So it's just, so it is for the, so I believe the way it works is whoever is the host, they select the server that is closest to them rather than the one that is closest for all players. So I'm guessing that's kind of what the issue was here. Got to try and get that better ping for everyone involved for the integrity of the tournament. But now already we are seeing some different bans coming out. Hogger and Dahaka, yeah, at this point. Well, the Dahaka ban, first of all, that's a pretty big one. But the Hogger and the Oriole is what I meant to say. Those are pretty standard, but this time they're also going to remove the Lucio and the Dahaka. And the Dahaka especially is so strong on this map. But that also means that Blaze is still going to be available. So Shupov going to lock that one in for themselves. As DH Bob going to log in the Falstad. That's going to be their global presence. Gust is super strong. And meanwhile, on the side of Inting for Globes, they did take Junkrat first pick for Juan Pablo. And Concept going to lock in the Urel. And I believe Urel isn't quite as fast in terms of soak speed and clear speed as the Blaze, but will still be very strong during fights. Is going to be very tanky up there in the front line. And the Diablo is going to get locked in for Storm Brandon, interestingly enough. So maybe Fuzz not going to be playing the main tank this time around, but we will have to see. A lot of these players can play multiple roles, so it really just depends on what the strategy is for that specific map, for that specific game. But yeah, we'll see once the swap phase is done as well. But for now, the Brightwing going to get banned by Potential Scrim Thursday, just trying to get rid of that cross-map potential. And the Stitches will be banned by Inting for Globes as well. And this is a great map for Stitches. We've seen it across every single division. Those Iron Hooks just so strong. Just if you catch it onto the Junkrat, for example, that's basically the team fight done. It's so difficult, especially for Urel and Diablo, to be able to kind of win out those fights without that big DPS, without that extra bit of control that the Junkrat does bring. However, it does mean that Uther is available for Jägermeister, and Vala is still left in the pool. Gonna get locked in for Computex one more time. So 3 games in a row where they do get the Vala on PST. And frankly, AoE Rules and Computex have both been playing immaculately on this Vala. But Hanzo is available, and Fuzz gonna be the one to lock that in for Inting for Globes. The Kafkavar final pick, they do need a healer, and it's going to be the Malfurion. So they do have a lot of range for their assassins on the side of Inting for Globes. They have Junkrat and the Hanzo. And with the extra little bit of mana, Hanzo can just completely, fully spam out the Scatter Shot, the Stormbow, any of those spells. As the Tyrande, once again, going to get locked in for AoE Rules. So double healer comp from PST. And I actually think that's really, really good. Inting for Globes, they are going to be lacking a little bit of that oomph, a little bit of that extra burst damage, unless they do go the Dragon Strike instead of the Dragon Arrow on Fuzz. But either way, it's time for map number 3, potentially the final one, as we head into Towers of Doom. All right, and here we are, Inting for Globes versus potential Scrim Thursday. We are here on Towers of Doom. It is currently 2-0 for potential Scrim Thursday. This could be their match point, and if they win here, they will be going straight into the grand finals versus a solid school, which, once again, for anyone who has just joined us, the grand finals will be happening tonight, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, and close enough anyway for your time zone. I'm sure y'all can figure it out. But so it's going to be a really exciting day. We are going to have the last few games of NGS Season 19 here today. But now, both sides going to be grouping up into the mid lane. Inting for Globes definitely want to get this map when they definitely don't want to get swept at the very least. And they definitely will be trying to get that reverse sweep happening. And now Scattershot already going to get those 4 stacks on the simple geometry. And Fuzz just trying to get control of that mid lane. And once again, Inting for Globes, they've been able to get the first prio in the mid lane every single time. And including this time where they've already sent Juan Pablo down to the bot side, getting so much damage onto these walls, onto these structures. And it is going to be a decent amount of miss soak coming out from potential Scrim Thursday. But now Concept going to be the target, going to dodge away from the jet propulsion. And will be able to just jump out. Doesn't really take a lot of damage for their troubles either. As now Jägermeister is there, going to get hit into the wall. Another concussion mine going to bring them even further away. Jägermeister just kind of completely zoned away from the team. And now Fuzz is here with the extra DPS, just trying to survive. And AoE Rules is there. They have the double healer, but it's still not enough. First blood this time going to Inting for Globes. They're going to have the first blood. They're going to be aiming for the Sapper camp as well. And I believe this is the first time that Inting for Globes have gotten first blood here. There's now Concept just jumping on a DH Bob, but again, will be able to just roll away to safety. But now Fuzz still trying to follow. Needs just one more hit. Sonic Arrow will be enough damage. And that's 2-0 now for Inting for Globes. As now Shoepuff just going to be kind of standing in the way. Won't be able to accomplish too much there. And I mean, I got to give credit to Inting for Globes. They are playing a lot more aggressively, but it is back to that controlled aggression that I have been seeing from them for most of the season. And specifically, what I would even say is their specific style of play. It's the one that they perform the best at. As now Brandon is here looking for Jägermeister. And now Concussion Mine not going to be able to land, but they're still going to get the Entangling Root, so Jägermeister will still take a decent amount of damage. But Computex is almost burst down entirely. It is the Puncturing Arrow build once again, by the way, so already at 4 stacks on that. As the Scattershot already up to 9. So they will be able to have that finished off soon. As now Concept jumping in towards Shupa. Fuzz is here as well, but so is DH Bob. It's a 2-for-2 in the mid lane. Or 2v2 in the mid lane. This Concept starting to get decently low. Will just jump away. Lightning Rod still following. And I haven't mentioned this because I haven't even noticed it, but it is the Lightning Rod build coming out of DH Bob. Now that is really good into stuff like the Urel, into stuff like the Diablo, just kind of those frontliners that have a lot of HP that you just need to be sticking on top of. You don't need to worry too much about your other abilities. You don't need to worry too much about threading autos, though obviously if you are able to, you should. But it will bring a lot of damage to those frontliners, and it will bring a lot of pressure as now they're able to push them away. And DH Bob actually gets finished off on the top side, but in the meanwhile, the fight over the bot side altar is beginning. Jägermeister, Computex, and AoE Rules just trying to keep Inting for Globes off of it. But the first altar is going to go in favor of Inting for Globes in the top left. As now Fuzz just again, just trying to delay Shoepuff up there on the top side. But Inting for Globes, they are getting the shove into the bot lane. They are looking towards Jägermeister. They have the Entangling Roots as well. Same with the Concussion Mine. But it's not going to be enough. Just able to bring them down to half HP. They have the trap there as well. And everyone on the side of Inting for Globes, they are starting to get decently low. Capcavar trying to keep everyone healthy. But it is a little bit difficult on that. Wow, I completely forgot his name. Malfurion. I kept wanting to say Murden. I'm like, I know it's not Murden, but yeah, them Alfurin just able to kind of keep the entire team alive. But it's more of that dot or that hot rather than that burst heal. And when they are starting to get to that half HP mark, it does make it a little bit dangerous to engage. But either way, Inting for Globes, they're going to be able to take that bottom altar. They're going to be able to take their Sapper Camp as well. There's now Shupov going to be the next target and will be able to land the jet propulsion. But the rest of Inting for Globes are here. Shupov, you may have gone a little bit too aggro and will be getting taken down. It's 4-0 in favor of Inting for Globes, as now they're looking to steal away the siege camp. And Kozlov will be able to get onto it just in time, as now Jägermeister going to be the target. And Jägermeister will be able to get away, but the Sapper Camp will go the way of Inting for Globes. And now they have 6 Sappers here. The first 3 already going to crash. They will finish off that top cannon tower. The mid lane gate is already gone. The other 2 will hit onto that cannon tower, and that entire bottom wall gets deleted by Inting for Globes, as now they have a full level lead in their favor. Now this is going to be a bit of that longer map. Just in general, Towers of Doom maps usually take a while to finish off. So even if you do get the lead early, Potential Scrim Thursday, they can come back. As now Concept still dealing with DH Bob here. That Lightning Rod build, so annoying, but I mean, Concept isn't taking too much damage. In fact, we see Concept is still at full HP. But now level 10s are going to be coming up soonish for Inting for Globes, but they're not up yet. Lunar Flare lands on 2, but again, both sides just kind of trying to get in each other's way here, trying to jockey for positioning. Both the altars are going to be on that top side, and that's where both sides are just going to immediately bring at least most of their players, but not all. They are going to leave Juan Pablo in the bot side for a little bit just to get that shoved out. As now Computex not going to get hit by that scatter shot. We'll be able to get the 4 damage going their way, as Shupov trying to prevent Concept from doing the same. But either way, Inting for Globes, they have mid prio. They're going to be able to just shove in here. They will take this mid lane gate and could look to finish off the structures, but now instead they're looking towards Computex, but the cleanse is there. And that's going to be one of the dangers coming for them against PST. They're going to have a lot of cleanses. When you have double healer, the lockdown is so much harder to do as well. But they will finish the quest. Simple Geometry is done. They're going to have those 2 extra arrows. But unfortunately, that level 10 timer not able to get them too much. But they will finish off that mid lane wall. That is something they haven't been able to get. It's now Concept going to be targeted by DH Bob and Shupov. But again, I'm not going to be worried too much about it, especially with the Ardent Defender. Worst case, you use that. But Computex going to be getting pushed in through the bot lane. They're not going to be able to pick off this Vala, but they will at least be able to get some damage onto this bell tower. But now instead, the target is going to be DH Bob. We'll be able to roll away with a barrel roll, because now Shupov is in the backline. Gus going to get used as well. And it is the 5v5. Concept is here looking for DH Bob, as now Shupov going to get stunned up into the wall, but both sides just going to walk away. No one going down there. Dragon Arrow is up in 2 seconds as Fuzz just trying to DPS onto the backline, just trying to hit Jägermeister down low. And it's not going to be coming through yet. Brandon and Fuzz just trying to delay as long as possible. They will be able to secure their own Sapper Camp in the meanwhile. Now they can bring all 5 here. Now they have the Dragon Arrow, but do they have the follow-up? The Oil Slick in the way. And now Kapkavar going to get targeted down. Will get finished off. And now without the healer, Inting for Globes definitely cannot continue this push. And that Starfall just being perfectly placed, just going to completely split the fight up in 2. And Kapkavar ended up being on the wrong side of it. That's going to be a pretty big win for Potential Scrim Thursday. 32-28 is the score for the cores right now. But with this push, they could get more. And I don't think they can defend into this. They will be able to buy a little bit of time with a concussion mine, but that's all they're going to be able to do. As now in the meanwhile, they're going to be able to retake down DH Bob, but Fuzz and Concept, they're getting collapsed upon. Fuzz needs to get back to safety, but will get finished off there as well. So it's a 1-for-1. Ardent Defender has already been used. Brandon is here looking for Computex. Will go onto it, but again, the cleanses are still going to be there. Shupov, in the meanwhile, just standing in the back line, is feeling super brave with a double healer, has the infinite health pretty much. And he's just going to stand there autoing back and forth. They're going aggressive on the side of Potential Scrim Thursday. Now, there is one altar available, and it is just going to be in the mid lane, as AoE Rules going to be trying to secure that for themselves. But in the meanwhile, the fight's just happening over onto the top side. Brandon just trying to buy some time with that Fire Stomp. Will be able to get healed right back up to full. And Fuzz is on the way back, and the grenade will land just in time. So now Fuzz is going to be here. The next fight could break open, but Juan Pablo starting to get low. Tranquility, not enough. Dragonair will go wide, and Shupa just dealing damage over in the back line. And the Gust as well, pushing them into the wall. Capcavar is going to be their main target. And with the Hand of Justice, they will have more than enough lockdown to take down this healer. And again, potential Scrim Thursday. They're just winning out on the fights. They will get the altar. They will get that 4 damage. So now we are tied in terms of core HP, but almost a full level lead now in favor of potential Scrim Thursday. Huge comeback coming in from them. And just from a few big team fights, their composition's really starting to scale up. It's really starting to come into its own. Now, interestingly enough, they did have D-Shield available as well. They still had Bunker. They didn't use any of their heroics for that fight. They were able to win out on that team fight just through positioning. As now Concept almost gets locked down, but not going to get stunned up. Brandon now also in position. But again, Computex able to spot it out. 32 stacks of Puncturing Arrow. 25 on Dishonorable Discharge. So, and with 5 more stacks, it is going to be that upgraded version of the Lightning Rod. Going to have that lower cooldown at the very least. As now again, it looks like Inting for Globes, they want to try sealing away this Sapper Camp. They've managed, they're 1 for 1 in terms of their steal attempts. They've already secured theirs. And now DH Bob going to be chasing down Juan Pablo. And again, that Lightning Rod just doing so much damage. Just absolutely zoning them away. But now DH Bob forced to use the Gust. Will be getting hit by Concept as well. Juan Pablo just needs a little bit more damage. But in the meanwhile, Capcavar goes down off screen. And with the barrel, will be back to safety. They're still chasing though. They're able to take down 2 in the bot lane. So it's a 2 for 1 in favor of potential Scrim Thursday across map, as they have been sending 2 over to win that fight in the mid lane. Fuzz still going to be getting targeted out, still has a Dragon Arrow available, but the team's just not in a position to fight for it. But so the camp still hasn't been taken, by the way. The camp is still available, so if Inting for Globe want it, they can definitely get it in their hands. But now it's going to be 1 altar spawning in the bot side. Brandon is going to be there as well. Computex going to jump off of it as a Fire Stomp is going to land. Now Concept is in the backline. Going to hit Jägermeister into the wall. Not going to be able to hit into the closer wall, so they cannot follow up onto that play. But it is still a full level lead. Level 16s are going to be up soon, as Jägermeister is going to be the target. But the D-Shield is there. Starfall as well over top. And now Shootbuff is here. Is unstoppable. Has a Pyroclasm. As Concept is there, and now the Gust force them into the wall, but Jet Propulsion not ready for the follow-up. Dragonair hits onto the backline, but Juan Pablo is the first to go down. Level 16s are now available. Potential Scrim Thursday, they have the talent advantage. Fuzz, you're on the wrong side of the map, trying to buy some space, trying to buy some time, but the Bell Tower going to get the last hit there. And it's another altar going the way of potential Scrim Thursday. It's another team fight going the way of potential Scrim Thursday, as they will also be able to take their camp in the end. Now, in the meanwhile, Jägermeister and AB rules the 2 healers for PST. Gonna be able to shove in this bot lane. Gonna be able to finish off the wall as well. And things are just going from bad to worse for Inting for Globes. They had a solid lead in the early game, but just a couple of team fights. Potential Scrim Thursday just kind of showing that double healer is so difficult to deal with. They have the extra cleanses now. They have the extra burst shield, the D shield especially, just coming in so clutch for them.
What? I mean...
But now the gate has opened in the middle, so both sides will be able to join the fight sooner if they do go down or if they do need to reset. But the Sapper is also going to be able to crash here in the bot lane. It'll be a decent amount of damage dealt to that Bell Tower. About a third of its HP gone. And now it's the other way around. Inting for Globes are just going to stand there and watch as their siege camp gets stolen. They don't have 16, so they're not willing to fight this out yet. And most likely this Sapper Camp will be forced to crash as well, though they are able to get a decent amount of poke onto it early on. As now they're looking towards Brandon instead, already down to half HP just to clear away those Sapper Camps. Level 16s are available now, but it'll still take some time before they can really utilize them. Brandon just doesn't have the HP to fight. Will reset, but again, with the Waygate exit there, they can join the fight sooner rather than later, and it looks like that's the play right now. But the push in the bot lane still favoring potential Scrim Thursday. They're trying to play aggressive, but Brandon is going to be in the area. Hand of Justice not going to get proc. It is going to get used now. Jägermeister could be on the wrong side. The Rain of Vengeance does land on 2, including Capcavar. That could be their target. And in the meanwhile, Shootbuff is here. They're able to take down Jägermeister, though. Now they have the Riptire into the backline. It's just going to hit onto AoE rules. but it's a very big teamfight victory. But DH Bob, in the meanwhile, going to be able to steal away that left altar. Now Dragon Arrow does land onto Shoopuf, and they're trying to DPS over top, but again, the healing is still there. They still have AoE rules alive, as now Fuzz turning attention onto this Tyrande. But now the bot lane did get taken by Inting for Globes. Rain of Vengeance not going to land. But Inting for Globes, they're bringing more team members up to the top side. With Jägermeister not in the area, they should be able to just get this for themselves. It's now Concept just helping them zone away. So it is going to be 8-4 in terms of damage onto the core. So Inting for Globes, they managed to get something back in their favor. But now 20-20, both sides at half HP for the cores. Computex could be getting caught out a little bit, but they don't have the follow-up damage. They don't have the follow-up stuns, and now AoE rules could be the next one as well. Entangling Roots not going to be able to zone the way. Jägermeister now coming in through the gate into the backline. Fuzz going to be the target, but will be able to back away. Now they're turning on to Storm Brandon and should have more than enough damage, but Brandon's still alive. Concept still in the backline, just trying to zone them away, trying to push them back, and instead it's Shoopuf that's gone. Concept now the Ardent Defender in the middle of everyone. Computex does have the D shield now, and now the Dragon Arrow over to the backline. Jägermeister, Computex, they're still alive. They're all so low. Just one more auto, needed one more spell, but Jägermeister going to be able to back away. But it's still a 1-0 in favor of Inting for Globes. They'll still be able to take away this camp, and they're going to be able to start bringing this game back to even. They're both level 18. Potential Scrim Thursday almost had a full 2-level advantage at one point, but that is going to be gone entirely. Now Juan Pablo just going to be shoving in this top side and will be trying to take this siege camp as well, and should be able to. And that's going to help kind of even out this level lead as well. So Inting for Globes, they will be able to bring us to a better spot now. Two altars are going to be spawning the top side. Concussion Mine already burned from Juan Pablo, as DH Bob going to be here as well, but it's a short cooldown. And the Lightning Rod is going to break before that barrel roll will be able to come through. And actually the Sapper is even going to be able to land. So it's even less than a level lead now. But the altars are spawning in 4 seconds. Level 20 is almost there for potential Scrim Thursday. I think if Inting for Globes can take even one of these altars, they are happy to just trade 1-for-1. And it looks like they will be able to get the one in the mid lane. Juan Pablo will be able to safely shove that in. And they can just, at the very least, maybe give this, maybe just try to delay for it. But it is going to be that level 20 Vault Charges, the Acrobat, coming in for Computex. And already had 50 stacks of Puncturing Arrow, by the way. This is going to be a very, very scary Vala in those team fights. A lot of burst damage available. As now DH Bob could be getting targeted here in the top side, but Fuzz just going to be Hearthing instead. Concept is just able to hold on to that top lane, so there's no reason for them to get involved. Whereas in the bot lane, they could start threatening onto the spell tower. Now Shoopuf's standing pretty far forward, not going to go in right now. And they will be able to clear away these minions, and the scatter shot just dealing damage over the back of it as well. Level 20s are almost there for Inting for Globes. It is 16-16. There's nothing on the map right now, so they are pretty confident to just let it happen. But the wind wall is going to be there. The wind tunnel ball, Ardent Defender, is going to get popped. As now Concept just trying to buy some space, but will just get burst down. And now level 20s are going to come through for Inting for Globes, but Potential Scrim Thursday, they are able to get something with that level 20 advantage this time around. Fuzz going to jump over the wall, not going to get hit by the jet propulsion, but it is 5v4 on the map for 45 seconds. And that Ardent Defender, it's a very long cooldown, will still be down for about half a minute, maybe even a bit longer, when Concept is back on the map. Both sides having level 20s. They could look to fight, and the D-Shield is going to get popped. Same with the teleport, and they're aiming for Cap Kavard. Will immediately get it. Dragon Arrow lands onto so many in the backline, but it's just not enough. Lightning Breath buying so much space, but the bunker is there. Brandon's going to go down. And it's a 2-0 in favor of Potential Scrim Thursday, and now their back timers are desynced. DH Bob soloed the boss in the meanwhile, and they should be able to get this bot lane in their favor as well. But the souls were up for Brandon, so Brandon is going to be back in the fight. It is still that 4v5 overall. Shoopuf may have gone a little bit too far forward, but not going to get hit by the overpower. And again, it looks like they're not going to be able to fully finish off this bell tower. And yet, as I say that, they have so many stuns. They're looking towards Fuzz, or towards Brandon, and Brandon will get taken down again. And again, these desynced spawn timers. Potential Scrim Thursday in a permanent state of 4v5. They will get the bottom bell tower, and now Bob was looking for an angle for that wind tunnel, but it's not going to come out yet. That's still going to be 5 damage into the core going in favor of Computex's. What? I have no idea how that happened, but they were able to take it on Fuzz. I think that might have just been the Sentinel. I think that genuinely... Well, what is that about? Yeah, I think that was literally just a Sentinel. That is crazy. Huge snipe coming out from AoE rules. But now they're aiming towards DH Bob. They have the Riptire as well. Riptire gonna get canceled by the stun in the back line, but they're still gonna be able to take down DH Bob. So finally, Inting for Globes, they get something in their favor, but Computex is still in the area. Concussion Mine gonna be used defensively, but not gonna be able to be used offensively. And now the Ardent Defender again has to be burned by Concept. But they will be able to get that 1 for nothing, and they will be able to get away as a result. Now, next 2 altars are going to be in this top side of the map. As Juan Pablo just trying to remove these sappers, trying to prevent any extra damage onto the core from coming through. As another Sentinel. I mean, look at the damage. Yeah, I could definitely see that finishing off Fuzz. Who is going to be respawning right now? So we are 4v5 in favor of Inting for Globes for the first time in a while. As now they could look towards the mid lane. Dragon Arrow just gonna go wide. Unfortunately, the angle just wasn't there. But in Scrim Thursday, they are going to be repositioning for this top side. They have the Sapper Camp as well. So this top lane altar's going to be starting to get low. Now the bottom bell tower is still going to be sitting at around 1/5 HP. They will be able to finish it off. They will be able to bring it back to their favor. But in Scrim Thursday, they're going to trade it for the top. So they're still going to have that 5 versus 3 damage advantage over Inting for Globes, and with only 7 HP left, Inting for Globes, they need to start playing aggressive, and they are missing those heroics. They don't have Dragon Arrow, they don't have Ardent Defender for this next team fight, and Computex just kiting so well. Look at the damage on the Concept, and now Shoop Up with the Jet Propulsion, they might be able to just finish off Concept immediately, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Now Brandon going to be their next target, has the teleport away, and now the Wind Tunnel pushing them back, but the Lightning Breath is there. It'll buy some time, but I think Brandon has nowhere else to go. Fuzz going to be the next to fall. Same with Cav Kavar. No, Cav Kavar will be back away for now, sitting at 200 HP, but only 2 health left. And now the D-Shield has to get burned by Jägermeister just to keep Computex alive. But this might have been it. I think potentially Scrim Thursday off that team fight, all they need to do is retake this bottom bell tower, and they just straight up win the game here and now. I can't believe this. I thought this was going to be an incredibly close series, and the games themselves have been. But potential Scrim Thursday, they are looking to end here and now. Have that 3-0 clean sweep into Inting for Globes. They've already finished off the top bell tower. They're about to finish off the bottom one. And Inting for Globes, they're trying to bring it back. Shuba just needs to buy a little bit of time. Just trying to buy as much as possible. And now the first hit is going to come through. Just needs one more. Will it come? Will it go through? And no, they're able to stop it. But they do have the Sapper Camp. And that will be it. Potential Scrim Thursday. They are going to the finals. I'm in disbelief. I'll be completely honest. I mean, Inting for Globes, they looked strong. They looked so good the entire season. And even in this series, they had so many moments of brilliance. But potential Scrim Thursday, today, they were the better team. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I don't think anyone can argue it. And they played a phenomenal series. A 3-0 clean sweep versus the first seed of the Heroic Division. Now, I'm going to see if they do want to do an interview today, just because they do have another series. For anyone that is just joining us or has joined us later on in the day, don't forget, the grand finals will be happening tonight. So potential Scrim Thursday will be playing again today. At 9 Eastern is the current timing for that. So let me just see if they want to do an interview right now. Yeah, I'm going to message them and see kind of where that goes, but I still can't believe what happened there. I'm genuinely in disbelief. I mean, but I'm just looking for Thursday. They played incredibly well. I mean, I don't think anyone can deny that their team fights have been incredibly strong. Okay. And we are going to be having an interview here. The press secretary is on the way, yes. Hello, hello.
Hello there.
So, first off, I want to congratulate you again for that 3-0 clean sweep into Inting for Globes. And how are you feeling with that victory?
Well, it's just the grand finals that everybody expected.
Yeah, I mean, going to be a pretty big one. Potential Scrim Thursday versus a solid school. Now, that's going to be a pretty big match. And I'm wondering specifically for you, Mundane Zebra, you're the press secretary of Potential Scrim Thursday, and you are playing on a solid school, correct?
I think so.
So, do you think there's going to be a bit of a conflict of interest while you're in that grand final?
No, I can throw pretty well, so.
Yeah, we'll try to do it as well. It'll be a challenge, you know?
Oh, hey, what's up, Moon?
Was good. I'm on a hike
Well
right
played,
now.
Moon.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Oh, hey, what's up, Bob?
What's up? It's DH Bob to you.
Oh, sorry. I'm just
Okay.
so proud of you, DH Bob. I can't believe a small kid from California would make it this far.
Thank you.
But either way, I mean, this was always going to be a pretty strong series. This was one series that I've been looking forward to since the first few weeks of the Heroic Division. But it was a 3-0. Now, what do you think it was that enabled you to just have that clean sweep today?
Definitely DH Bob.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same.
Yeah.
Also, everyone played out of their minds too,
Yeah,
especially AOE rules. I didn't believe in him, but he did great.
His clutch saves on Tehran were impressive the very first game, too. Keeping the compute alive, for example, and popping off.
Can I just give a quick shout out to Fuzz for playing like ass?
no, not today. Okay.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
But I mean, again, this was. So the other thing that I noticed as well is that for those bans, you always made sure to get rid of the Oriole, regardless of the map, regardless of the composition you were going for. Now, is that because you think that the Oriole is just really difficult to play against in general, or do you think that it is just super good specifically for Inting for Globes?
Team specific.
Do you want to answer this, Zebra? Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
team
see that.
specific.
Mm-hmm.
I just answered it. What are you guys talking about?
No, answer it more.
Okay, it's team specific.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah,
Thanks.
what he said.
Thanks for getting
Yeah.
that clarification for me, Bob and Moon.
It's just it feels oppressive after a while, especially after 16. I mean, they nerfed her energy, but I don't feel comfortable seeing a healer do a Rhaegar ult every 10 seconds.
An AoE. Level 20 Rhaegar ult. Gotta love it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely a super powerful hero, but now, anyway, that's enough for this matchup because, again, I don't think there's too much to discuss. It was kind of one-sided for most of this series. There's a bit of a loss at the start for Towers of Doom. You were down a full level, but with one team fight, you were able to come back. I mean, I've spoken to all of you many times. I assume you were not worried for when you were down a level?
We've been down like 5-1 game and still come back. So, with 5 keeps ticking. So, yeah, I like our team's odds.
What I will say is that we were worried and Jaeger was practically AFK. He went AFK halfway through that game. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. And for the real answer, I mean, we just took a while to scale for some of our heroes, so especially like WL Falstad, it really only got online at 7, and I mean, it kind of adapted to what they did, like sending multiple people up.
Yeah, they really painted a target on you, especially in that early game. Just trying to get rid of that Falstad in the offlane. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to target it, but really good talent selections there to make yourself a lot safer. But now,
Thank you.
For this next series against a solid school, what do you fancy your odds are against them?
3-0.
0-3.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can't put Zebra in, so we just lose.
Yeah, that definitely does make it pretty unbalanced, but I think you can at least maybe take one map. It's definitely possible.
You have a lot of faith in us.
Okay, I'm gonna shout out Shoe Puff. Thank you, bro, for keeping the team together on not griefing the last match. So I appreciate you, and I hope you do the same for the next one, at least a little bit.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next and final question, because I don't want to keep you too long, because you do have another series starting in just a little over 2 hours. But is there anything you'd like to say to all your fans out there? Any shout outs you'd like to give before your next series?
No shoutouts.
I just want to give a quick shout out to DH Bob. You know, we're just so proud of him. I can't believe a small kid from South Carolina could make it this far.
Yeah, quite the traveler DH Bob is.
I'm not gonna shout out anyone.
Then I'll
Classic
shout out
DH
Bob again. He's the one that chose the timing of it for us to go back to back to have these chaotic moments. And so I'm glad that he's also, slightly more awake this time around. So yeah, good on you, bro. And to Concept and the other guys for at least coordinating around us as well. Appreciate you guys for giving us this in-house scrims. They were always cool to watch. And yeah.
All right. Well, thanks all of you for coming to this interview, and good luck in the grand finals later tonight. I'm definitely looking forward to casting that match. And again, good luck. Hope you put on a great show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And with that, like I said, it is going to be the grand final starting in about 2-ish hours. Because this was a shorter series, I will be closing the stream for now, but we will be back later today. So you have 2 hours. Usually I say don't go anywhere, but now you have 2 hours. Go get some snacks, go get some pop, go get some juice, get whatever you need to be prepared, because it's going to be another best of 5 between a solid school and potential Scrim Thursday. Do not miss it. This is going to be a series to watch, but at the end of the day, at the end of this stream, I was Tokibi. I'm glad to have been your host, and I will be your host later tonight as well. So I'll see you soon, and take care.